Hello crafties, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Infiniti and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the Jasmine stitch, which is also known as the Yasmin stitch, the star stitch, and the flower stitch. So first things first today, this stitch is a bit of a yarn eater. So if you're planning on doing a big project, make sure you get a surplus of the yarn that you're going to use. This pattern stitch thing, it consists of puff stitches to give you an idea. So if you're not familiar with the puff stitch, why don't you go back on my channel and look at the tutorial I have there to learn how to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So first things first, this stitch is a intermediate type stitch, so if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend this for you. Again, it does consist of a bunch of puff stitches and other intermediate level techniques. So to get started, we're going to make a slip knot. Again, I do have series of more basic tutorials on my channel, so go ahead and check those out if you're unfamiliar with any terms. Next, what I'm going to do is just chain one. And we're going to be making a foundation of puff stitches. So in order to do that, we're going to pull up a loop from this chain that we just made. And this is going to be the height of our puff stitch. So what you want to do is hold that on your hook, yarn over, and go into that chain we just made. Yarn over and pull up a loop, get it to height. And we're going to do this a second time. Okay, so now what we're going to do is yarn over, but we're not going to quite pull this through yet. I'm going to put my finger between this strand and my previously worked loops so that I have this guy sticking out to the side, and I'm going to insert my hook in there. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over and just make a single crochet. And this enables us to complete the rest of our row. So there's no specific number that you have to go up to. You can make as many of these puffs along this foundation chain as you'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and do a few more. Pulling up my loop and going into that previously worked single crochet. Yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, inserting, and pulling up another loop. And just like before, I'm going to put my finger between the strand and my previously worked loops. Go ahead and pull that through there and insert my hook into this loop. Now some people find it better to use a thicker yarn. If you're not willing to work with a thicker yarn, my advice would be to yarn over more when you're making your puffs to make it look fuller. I'm going to go ahead and do about 5 of these. So moving on to my third one. You guys are just watching now. So insert. So just the chain alone is a little bit tricky. When I first learned this stitch, it was a little bit weird feeling to my fingers, but the longer you work it, like any other stitch, it'll be easy. Inserting my hook there, pulling up my loop. And this stitch will take some practice. It makes my tight tension look really loose, which I don't know how I feel about that just yet. And now I have 4. I'm going to do one more. Okay. Alright. So however many of these puffs you make along your foundation will be the width of your project. I have 5 here. Now what you want to do is create a turning puff. Very similar to the turning chain. It's going to sit up like this vertically on your project. So you would make that one more, pull up your loop, and just make that last puff. Like so. Okay, you're going to pull up a loop. Now we're going to move on to row 2. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to yarn over and we're going to work into that single crochet, yarning over, pulling up a loop. We're going to do it again. Okay, now we're going to work into the next stitch, and our stitches are these spaces between the puffs. So I'm just going to stick this guy in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, and I'm going to do this one more time into our next stitch, which is right here. Yarned over, inserting my hook, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop. So you should have about 13 loops on your hook. You can count them out if you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And what we're going to do is work this like a normal stitch in this pattern, putting our finger between our strand and our previously worked loops, yarning over and pulling through. You'll notice that I'm turning my hook so that my stitches glide easily, and I'm going to put the head of my hook into that loop that we held, yarn over, pull up a loop, and finish that off as a single crochet. Okay, now you can see part of our flower forming. It's like 3 petals right here, 3 petals right there. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working across this row, doing the very same thing, pulling up a loop, yarn over, insert the hook into that single crochet, yarn over, inserting our hook, pulling up a loop to level, gonna insert our hook into the next stitch, which can be kind of funny to see, but that's okay. Pulled up those loops, gonna yarn over, go into it again, pull up a loop, gonna yarn over and work into the third one over here, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And now I'm going to put my finger between that loop and this loop's okay, I'm going to put my finger between this strand and the loops previously worked, and I'm going to pull through, insert my hook where my finger is, and create a single crochet. And I'm going to do this all the way across until I get to the end. So let me know down in the comments below, guys, if there's any stitches that you've heard of or you'd like to see worked. I like taking suggestions. Yeah, just let me know. Now working into this last stitch, you're going to work into that first chain that you made when you come up to make your last series of loops. So I just went in there once. I'm going to go in there again. It'll be a little hard to see, so you want to make sure you don't make that too tight. You're going to yarn over as normal, putting your finger between the loops and the strand, and you're going to go ahead and pull through all 13 stitches on your hook. Okay, and you can already see the starts of these stars, maybe on one side better than the other. Mine are always loose. This pattern or stitch in particular tends to work up very light and very fluffy, but also very warm. So, you know, it'd probably be good for a blanket, but I would in fact buy way more yarn than I need, which shouldn't be a problem for most of us. But okay, so I'm going to pull up a loop and turn my work, and I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to go into this stitch, and I'm going to make my turning puff for this row. I'm going to go ahead and stick my finger between there and make that stitch. I'm pulling out more yarn. Now what I'm going to do is yarn over and insert my hook and basically repeat everything from row 1. I'm going to go ahead and complete this second row just so you guys can see what it looks like, and I can have another swatch for my wall. I'm going to go ahead and make that puff stitch into that next stitch, which is directly below our turning puff. We yarn over and go into it again. Okay, I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch. Yarn over and go into that same stitch. I'm going to put my finger between my strand and my previously worked loops. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 13. And then I'm going to put my hook where my finger was and create that single crochet. Okay? Pull up a loop. This stitch also works up fairly quickly, I've noticed, which is really nice. Again, it'd be good for a blanket maybe, or a throw or something. going into that last stitch. Alright, and I've just made my last single crochet, so now I'm going to chain one and fasten off. Alright guys, so I hope today's tutorial was helpful to you. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of things you would like to see on the channel in the future. Go ahead and subscribe so you never miss out on cool new content, which I post weekly. And until next time guys, happy making.